Coming up now in your spoiler-free wrestling news rundown, Tony Khan has spoken to Sports Illustrated about why he's decided to air the backstage footage from AEW All In. We've got news on if Stephanie McMahon is back in the fold in WWE. And we've also got news on Vince McMahon selling more TKO Group holding stock and a statement that his personal trainer posted to Instagram. All that and more coming up now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. There's a lot of wrestling news to get into, so let's not waste any time. Tony Khan was interviewed by Sports Illustrated recently, and he was asked about the segment scheduled for Dynamite this week, where the Young Bucks plan to present backstage footage from AEW All In and will discuss for the first time. Now, while Tony Khan, AEW, nobody has officially said that the footage that AEW will be airing on Wednesday involves the altercation between Jack Perry and CM Punk. However, several insider news sources have stated that this will not be a bait and switch and that they will present real backstage security footage from the show, with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer here writing that it will indeed show the altercation between CM Punk and Jack Perry. However, Dave Meltzer added that it will not show any of a reported altercation between Tony Khan and CM Punk that may have taken place backstage that night as well. So when speaking to Sports Illustrated, Khan said that there's a very good reason why the Young Bucks will be presenting this footage. Here are some of the quotes that Khan said. He said, AEW has a great track record on delivering what we advertise, and it is real footage. The Young Bucks will show backstage footage from All In, the most important event in AEW history, the world record holder for the most ticket sales ever for any wrestling, over 1,035 total, and it was an important night backstage as well. He continued, the decision to air the footage is based on putting on the best show for AEW, as well as driving interest for Dynamite and our Dynasty pay-per-view on April 21st. This is real-life footage that affected many people, and it will air for the first time on TBS during Dynamite. It was noted during the interview, however, that Khan was guarded in terms of what specifically is going to air in this footage. And then he continued to tie in what will happen on Dynamite with the scheduled match at AEW Dynasty for the vacant tag team titles between FTR and the Young Bucks. So Khan said, the Young Bucks are wrestling for the World Tag Team Championship at AEW Dynasty against longtime rivals FTR. Their rivalry is one of the most significant ever in AEW, and there is a good reason why the Young Bucks are showing this video. It's important that the Young Bucks explain the reason why this is relevant going into Dynasty. It should be another must-see part of a great show on Dynamite. So somehow, the backstage footage from All In, which may or may not include footage of the altercation between Jack Perry and CM Punk, somehow this ties into the Young Bucks' match against FTR at Dynasty. So we'll just have to wait and see what they show on Wednesday. Sticking with AEW for a moment, Matt Hardy is now officially a free agent. His contract was set to expire at the end of March. However, Fightful Select is reporting that the deal was extended a few weeks past WrestleMania. And Hardy noted on his podcast that he received a contract offer from AEW that was for a few years. However, he was currently weighing his options. Well, now it appears that Hardy has decided not to sign what AEW offered him, and so he's officially a free agent. This doesn't mean that he won't possibly return to AEW, but he is now able to officially field offers from other companies. Moving over to WWE now, Roman Reigns has released his first statement since losing the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. So he was not on the Raw after WrestleMania at all. However, on Tuesday, he tweeted out just what's up on your screen now. It's just a video of him walking on a treadmill or a stair climber at the gym. He briefly looks a little down, a little sad. He then looks up and begins to smirk at the camera. And he has included the caption, "Yesterday I mourned, today is day one." We will just have to wait and see what is next for Roman Reigns. Now, one potential storyline that was teased in the closing moments of WrestleMania 40 was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. If you remember from what was a truly epic main event on Sunday, Seth Rollins came out to help Cody Rhodes fend off the bloodline, but he came out to the old Shield theme music, came out through the crowd in his old Shield getup, along with even a blonde streak in his hair. And Roman Reigns picked up a chair, and Roman Reigns could have just kept his attention on Cody Rhodes, hit Cody Rhodes with the chair. And however, Roman Reigns was distracted with wanting to get revenge on Seth Rollins in much the same way that Seth Rollins hit him with a chair to break up the Shield. Reigns turned his attention on Rollins, and that momentary distraction may have been what allowed Cody Rhodes to recover and end up beating Roman Reigns for the title. However, it's being reported that Seth Rollins is going to take a little time off to heal some injuries. It was reported by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio and also in the Wrestling Observer Daily Update that Seth Rollins would be taking a little bit of time off. It's not really sure how much. They're hopeful for just around 4 weeks or a month. And what he needs to do is just rest up his knee injury. If you remember, in January, he suffered a grade 2 tear of his MCL as well as a torn meniscus. And there was concern that he would not make it to WrestleMania. However, he did. It appears WWE is hopeful he'll just need a few weeks and then he'll be right back at it. Speaking of right back at it, WrestleMania Night 2 opened up with Stephanie McMahon's return to WWE. She came out to address the crowd. This was something that was kept very secret from everyone involved. Internally, on the internal rundown sheet, this segment was listed as a Triple H promo. However, Stephanie came out and boy, she likes being in front of the camera. Triple H spoke about his wife's appearance on the show during the post-event press conference. He said, "It's so great to have her back home. I get her home all the time, but to have her back here, to see the doubt leave her by being here for the last few days, to see her confidence come back, and to know that this is her home. All of you, all of us, all this business, it's her home. And as much as anybody on the planet, she belongs here. And hopefully she knows that now. So happy to have her back." Now, PW Insider put out a report on Tuesday saying that Stephanie doesn't have any official role back with the company. She hasn't been hired back. But that all could change, of course. Speaking of McMahons, Vince McMahon has sold another $300 million worth of stock of TKO Group Holdings. This now takes him to under a 5% ownership of TKO Group Holdings. The last time we talked about Vince McMahon having sold stock, it took him down to about 6.7% of total TKO Group Holdings. He is now under 5%. That's an important threshold because it means anytime that he sells stock now, it no longer has to be publicly reported. So the next time Vince McMahon sells stock, we won't know anything about it. Also sticking with WWE, Vince McMahon's personal trainer released a statement on Instagram regarding Vince McMahon being, quote, unable to attend WrestleMania 40 this year. So this is from Michael A. Montefort's Instagram. And we know that he is Vince McMahon's personal trainer, as he was quoted in a Body and Fitness article and has been long associated with Vince McMahon. So his statement reads, Vince McMahon was unable to attend his first WrestleMania. How quickly people forget that without his vision, there would be no wrestling or WrestleMania. Sadly, when a person is down, the people who say they love you turn their backs on you. And he included a caption on the post, don't judge a man without getting all the facts. Things aren't always as they appear. He would respond to commenters on the post as well. He responded to a hidden comment by writing, you are probably a good dude, but in this particular case, sex trafficking was used as a catchphrase. Sad that something that serious would be used for her own gains. If these allegations were true, why isn't she pressing charges? She knows that her texts and everything she is about would be revealed. So she is going for that money. Everything she has intended to do since getting her sights on Mr. McMahon. There actually is a criminal investigation that was at least active as of the summer of 2022, and we've certainly never heard that the case has been closed in any way. In response to the same commenter, Vince McMahon's trainer later wrote, "I will never feel bad because I know the truth in real time. You may feel like you are defending an innocent victim, but you should look into her past. All her life, she has been a predator for men with money. And if she was to reveal her reply to those texts as she conveniently left out, you would see that she is far from innocent and any victim actually the aggressor. It's easy to believe something that you hope would be true. Just like the love letter, there is more coming out." And he later wrote in response to someone else, he said, "She claims many things, but she never reveals her reply to texts because people would no longer view her as a victim. Look into her past. This is how she lives, being a predator on men with money." Both Rossy Ogawa and Giulia were spotted at WWE related events over WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia. Now, Rossy Ogawa is believed to be starting his new promotion very shortly. Ogawa, if you're not familiar, he is the founder of Stardom. However, he sold that company to Bushi Road, but then was brought on to manage the company. However, back in February, Bushi Road publicly fired Ogawa, stating that he had been attempting to poach wrestlers from Stardom for his new promotion. One of those wrestlers is believed to be Giulia. Giulia is expected to end up in WWE at some point. However, out of loyalty to Ogawa, she wants to help him start this new promotion. Giulia will also be wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah at WrestleMagic on May the 4th. Giulia is also going to wrestle for Stardom this weekend on April 12th at Korakuen Hall. She is no longer under contract to Stardom. However, she did agree to that date. So Ogawa told Tokyo Sports that he's expecting to make an announcement regarding his new promotion next week. A translation of his comments read, "I'm going to be very busy from now on. We'll be holding a press conference to launch the organization within the next week, so I hope to be able to show everyone an overview of our organization. Please look forward to it." On to New Japan Pro Wrestling now. It is official that Jon Moxley will challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in Chicago at Windy City Riot on April the 12th. So the match between Naito and Moxley has been announced for some time, but it was not officially made a world championship match until Naito successfully defended his title against Yota Tsuji at Sakura Genesis last weekend. So now with that title defense out of the way, Naito will defend the title against Moxley. Looking at that big card in Chicago now, so the lineup is Naito against Moxley for the IWGP World title, Hiromu Takahashi versus Mustafa Ali in what might be made an X Division title match. We'll just have to wait and see. Tomohiro Ishii will take on Nick Nemeth. Jack Perry versus Shota Umino. That's Jack Perry returning to Chicago just 2 days after the Young Bucks are going to release that footage from Backstage at All In. There will be a Four Corners Open Challenge with the NJPW Strong Tag Team Champions, Hikuleo and El Phantasmo from the Gorillas of Destiny, defending against Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols, Tom Lawler, and Fred Rosser, as well as Royce Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson. There will be a Riot Rules Tornado Tag Match with Eddie Kingston captaining a team with three partners to be announced, and Gabe Kidd partnering the other. Matt Riddle will defend the IWGP World Television Championship against Zack Sabre Jr. NJPW Strong Women's Champion Stephanie Vakir defends against Azumi, Mina Shirakawa, and Viva Van against Trisha Dora and Alex Windsor, and Matt Vandegrift versus Zane J. And also in kind of a bit of funny news, well, perhaps GCW doesn't think it's too funny, Sabu no-showed his induction into the 2024 Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. This was an event that was being put on by Game Changer Wrestling. Brett Lauderdale tweeted out that Sabu no-showed. He wrote, "In the spirit of independent wrestling, Sabu has decided to keep his deposit and no-show the Indie Hall of Fame ceremony today. He accepted the booking and took the money, but doesn't want to get in the elevator and come upstairs. What a legend." And in fact, Sabu was there, was in the same building, but was at his merch table at WrestleCon didn't want to attend the ceremony. And that's going to do it for this video, everyone. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and click the notifications bell, and we'll see you again next video.